Darya sharara do sharare. Hello and blessings, beautiful patrons. How are you today? I wanted to say a big thank you to you all for supporting me in this wonderful way. And it is almost the full moon, and therefore I would like to offer you a full moon reading. And so I'll be using my beautiful Bonestone and Earth Flesh tarot deck, and I'll be focusing a little bit. I do have a working candle over here lit, and I would like to burn a little bit of Palo Santo for this one. Not that it needs to. I've been in sacred space most of the day doing client readings and organizing course content and doing that kind of beautiful stuff. And so I have been in sacred creative space, and I just really felt called to do a little reading for you. And I'd like to tap into the energies of the full moon. The full moon can be a rather erratic time for many. If you are incredibly sensitive, then the full moon may actually cause ailments within you, and they can be very difficult to navigate through so as to best make the most of the full moon. And so for many who are truly sensitive to that kind of acute lunar energy, working on the new moon is perhaps more advised as you strengthen what you need to in order to truly be free and unyielding around the time of the full moon. It takes practice. Nevertheless, no matter how experienced you are as a magician, as a witch, as a mystic, the time of the full moon is truly palpable energy. And no matter who you are, you will end up feeling quite drained at the end of your rituals because it is that time. However, you can also draw down energy from the moon, and as such, it's well advised to do that, to draw down from the moon and up from the earth if you're performing rituals around that time in order to preserve your own energetic sphere. And so here's some energies to focus on. I'm going to use I don't even know what kind of layout I'm going to do. I'm just going to wing it really, because that's how I feel today. No boxes, no lines, no laws, no rules. Saravadisha, Sarava. Saravadisha, Sarava. Energias me guiam. Energias me guiam. Saravayashe. Okay, so we have the Nine of Cups, which is a card of wishes. And oftentimes around the time of the new moon, we step out into the lunar sphere and we make our wishes. We set our intentions and we weave magic so that we can manifest that which we require. And so this is usually a time to do that. However, these two cards, the Tower and the Ten of Swords, and even the Judgment card, are telling me that this moon may be a moon that holds a great deal of healing. And as such, the work towards healing is something that can be focused on. So if you had money magic in mind and you had relationship magic in mind or legalities in mind. This is not to say that you shouldn't do those things or that you can't do those things. It's more to say that at the very, very crux of the energy cycle of this lunar body, we have issues pertaining to the Tower. And that is where structures in your life have previously collapsed. It's going to illuminate that for you. And then the Ten of Swords, it's going to illuminate the bad end to bad situations. And so it could dig up a little bit of shadow, and it could end up being that reminder. And the functional aspect of that is that if you are in danger of following down the same path that may have led to these cataclysmic events before, then you may find yourself getting called out of that cycle, or getting ushered out of that cycle, in which case these two cards have a tremendous medicine for you. Then we have the Judgment card, and for me the Judgment card is a time of epiphanies, and it's a time of rites of passage. When Judgment comes into the equation, then we really need to take a cold, hard, unbiased look at where we are, what it is that we are aiming to achieve, and what decisions we have made that have led us down the path that we are in at the moment. If you're in a really pleasurable experience and you're having a great time, then giving thanks to those very things that are the mechanics of what brought you to that moment. Giving thanks to that, giving gratitude to that can really help to tap into the greater energies of the moon and enhance that to double that type of energy for yourself. And then there is that type of rite of passage energy attached to the Judgment card as well. And this is about leveling up. This is about walking the gauntlet in many cases and truly, truly leveling up. At times we need to really break through some blockages. We really need to do those rites of passage where life conditions us in a way that makes us stronger and more resilient to be able to withstand the levels of pressures that we may need to weather or endure when we finally find ourselves in that prime position where we've always wanted to be that the right relationship, the right job, a family, job, whatever it is. It really is about, trying to make sure that you are tempering yourself, or tempering your spirit in a way that prepares you for your goal scenario. Judgment. Also, the epiphany side of Judgment is one of my favorites. When Judgment comes a calling, it can sometimes come in the form of an epiphany. You may be stuck. You may be in the middle of a situation where you're so embroiled that you haven't actually taken time out to smell the flowers, to really look up. And not every situation that we find ourselves in can truly, truly allow that for that moment. However, when Judgment comes into the equation, it's like that bolt of lightning, that epiphany, that idea that came from nowhere, that changes everything, that changes your perspective, that changes your attitude. And for that, Judgment holds an incredible medicine. And because it's nestled up against the Tower and the Ten of Swords, that epiphany is where I feel like it's really going to actualize. It's going to throw that bolt of lightning, bring clarity to a situation, allow you to see a differing perspective in relation to Tower and Ten of Sword experiences that have perhaps been buried in the foundation of the work that you are trying to do to self-actualize, to achieve your goals. And so finally we have the Four of Wands, and the Four of Wands feels like a more liberating card. It's the card of Wands, as such fire, as we know. And the liberation aspect of this is the salubrious nature of the Four of Wands. Traditionally speaking, the Four of Wands was the card of marital celebrations where people would come together, rejoice at the celebration of a union. Did I articulate myself then? I don't think so, but we'll go with that nevertheless. And so the Four of Wands brings through this natural energy of a good time, of a celebration. And because it's a stable number, the fours are a really great structural number. They show stability. They show a platform for which to stand upon in order to truly achieve that which we want. And we're standing here on a platform of Wands. Wands is an active masculine energy, and it allows you to really propel whatever you need to do out into the world. And so this suggests really, really working on this very center matter down here, waiting for that epiphany, looking at that situation, looking at that tempering side of the Judgment card and how it can play out in really loosening up some of this Tower and this Ten of Swords energy so that you can truly, truly manifest what it is that you want during this full moon cycle. And so I always find that the full moon brings out some hard work. It's a really, really potent time for casting. It's a potent time for magic. It's a potent time for journeying and for truly, truly just about any magical work, really, good or bad. And so there is a lot of energy flying around and a lot of magicians, a lot of magical practitioners, witches, neo-pagans, really tapping into the abundant energy of the full moon. And so you're sharing that lunar energy and that magical space with so many others, and it's important to know exactly what it is that you are aiming to achieve, because that time is more erratic. I have a friend of mine who is a police officer in a capital city here in Australia, and she has had these conversations with me in the past about how the crime rate during full moons increases, and the level of crime that you often see around the full moon is in fact really bizarre and unusual crime. And I often giggle when I hear her mention this, which she does from time to time. So I'm going to pull some cards from, or a card at least, I'm not committing to anything here, from the Connected and Free Alchemist Oracle. Ooh, I like this. I like this a lot. Ooh, okay. I like this. I like this. Okay, so it looks like the Connected and Free Alchemist Oracle is ushering you to focus your energy on your sacral chakra, your Svadhisthana chakra. This is the point of creation, the sacred flame, the Shakti, if you will. And it can loosen up that creationist energy, passion, fire, creativity, blah, 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 all the good stuff, you know, all the creative things, if you will. And this is a really juicy, tantalizing, crisp, attainable energy that can truly assist you to add some punch. If you're into witchcraft, then you will know that by adding dragon's blood to a spell, it amplifies its energy. By adding coffee to certain creations, it really gives it a sense of oomph. Well, the sacral chakra and the creative flame that it brings into the equation can be just as potent and just as uplifting or boosting as those ingredients. So make sure that whatever magical workings you are aiming to do during this lunar cycle, if any, you really infuse some creative passion into it. So come at it from a really creative angle, making sure to pull from that creative flame, from that Svadhisthana. I highly recommend working with carnelian. I have carnelian here. It's in the center of my crystal grid, but I also have carnelian over here. So carnelian is a beautiful, beautiful stone for really tapping into that creative energy of the sacral chakra. But there are others that you can use, and I encourage you to use what it is that you are comfortable using. Carnelian is just a favorite of mine. I gel really well. It's a stone that I use in association with one of my deity. So I have it in abundance, and so it's very easy for me to reach for and say this stone is great, because I have tremendous respect for that stone and it works a treat for me. And I like to use it within the context of sacral chakra work. And then we have the Busy Abundance bee here. Beautiful, beautiful card talking about achieving abundance. Now the bee has its own totemic attributes. The bee is productive, it's busy, and so this is an active type of 2-card oracle reading. So to lay on top of that tarot reading, you've got this really active component. So getting busy, getting yourself into an abundant mind state, then getting busy and making sure to really tap into that creative energy, being very abundant with that creative energy, in fact, and infusing it into the types of magical works that you are doing. So perhaps a little candle magic would be really, really called for to help to tap into some of that vital fire energy, working with orangey stones, working with the color orange to help to boost a little bit, get yourself into an artistic frame of mind, do a little painting, a little journaling, a little making, a little creating in your sacred space before you start to put together whatever kinds of spells or magical workings you are aiming to work on during this lunar cycle. So there you have it. That is your yummy, yummy, scrummy full moon reading for this coming full moon. Wait just 1 minute. Oh no, my phone is nowhere near me. I can't even tell you the exact time. but it's happening. The moon is in Libra today, and it's 90 something percent, so it will either be full tonight depending on the time frame, or it will be full early tomorrow morning. So I'm trying to get this up and uploaded for you all like nowish. All right, beautiful souls, have an incredible full moon. I sincerely hope that you really go for it this full moon, and you really work on some of that shadow aspect that's the undercurrent to what might have been and what could potentially affect your manifestation. So it's highlighting that you need to sort of really look closely at this, looking at either cleansing it away, abolishing it, working on it, integrating it, something that will assist you to best achieve the most appropriate outcome for you, your personal situation and circumstances. And so, 9 of Cups, wishes, 4 of Cups, celebrations, sacral chakra, and abundance of creative energy there. Judgment, really great key card there, a major arcana card that's going to help you to elevate and hopefully keep an eye out for that epiphany. There you have it, beautiful souls. Take care, happy full moon, and big love to you. Mwah. Bye.